Okay, this is Cecil Mills. I'm being incognito. Oh, that's top secret. Only subscribers are supposed to know that. So, in case you haven't subscribed yet, and I'm here at the top secret Black Ops secret location in Converse, Louisiana, right across from the dollar. Oh, don't say the dollar store. Top of the hill in Converse. That's secret too. So, what I'm about to tell you is government secret. But it's also more than one thing. It's how we could cure global warming. Uh, Most people know we can make hydrogen out of water, but we don't ever hear we can make hydrogen peroxide out of water, and that it's the ideal storage method for solar energy. But there's a big difference between hydrogen and hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen at room temperatures and pressures is a gas, and it's real thin, where hydrogen peroxide is a liquid and it weighs 11.7 pounds per gallon. It's dense and has a lot of energy in it, about 3 times the energy of a gallon of gasoline. So, but you're wondering, how can this fix global warming? Well, my theory of global warming is there's a bunch of BTUs in every gallon of gasoline, and we burn a lot of gallons of gasoline. Some of my other videos, I give the math on that, and you could add it up for yourself using whatever numbers you want. But my numbers are good. There's 5.5 pounds of carbon in every gallon of gasoline. So if you do that 1.2 billion times a day, that's a lot of tons of carbon every day in the atmosphere. But the problem with hydrogen cars is, you have to keep the fuel pressurized in order to get enough of it in the vehicle. So that right there makes it kind of like a bomb, just the pressurization. So you're wondering about how are we going to fix global warming? Well, if we think that burning fossil fuels is the cause of global warming, we got to look around and go, what else could we do instead? Because we're just not going to quit having commerce and transportation. People want to go places. So what other fuel is there? Well, I think hydrogen peroxide is way even better than gasoline. It's more powerful, it's clean, it can put oxygen back in the air. So we need to be thinking like that. There's a couple things like biogas and stuff like that. Well, that's less carbon in the air, but it's kind of recycling carbon again back into the air. There's even a stupid program where they have a nuclear reactor and they're going to catch carbon in the air and make gasoline out of it. Well, if the air's got that much carbon in it, we're in trouble that you can make gasoline out of it. So the thing about hydrogen peroxide is it's not like oil is stored solar energy, really. It's from plants and animals. This dead stuff we're bringing up from the planet's sewer and burning into the air. Well, we ought to expect bad stuff if we're going to do stupid stuff like, it just happened. But we need to change now. There's too many people and we're burning too much of this stuff. So I tell about the BTUs and how that adds to our heat load here on the surface of the planet by burning that oil. But the thing about hydrogen peroxide is you can collect solar energy today and store it using water as the storage medium. You get a lot more energy storage doing that than batteries do. And plus, it's a lot more convenient. You could just pour it in your car like gasoline. That's why gasoline cars are more popular than electric cars. There's no waiting to charge it up. You can get gas anywhere. I work on where would you get hydrogen peroxide. But even electric cars, they might put out zero pollution, but they don't do what hydrogen peroxide does. It can put oxygen back in the air, and we kind of need that. We've been taking a lot of it out, about 20 pounds for every gallon of gasoline. And it's not just that we took 20 pounds of oxygen out, we converted it to a poisonous gas, CO2. So that's a 40-pound difference from one to the other to the atmosphere, every gallon of gasoline. So, and then there's hydrogen fuel cell cars. Well, even those take oxygen out of the air to make water out of the hydrogen that's stored on board the vehicle, and then using oxygen out of the air. So we're depleting the atmosphere again. And if it makes more water, we really don't need that. Hydrogen peroxide actually puts out less water per gallon of fuel than gasoline and the 100 pounds of air it takes to burn it. So we learn about hydrogen and batteries, and we learn about gasoline and diesel, but we don't ever hear about hydrogen peroxide, and it powered the world's fastest cars. Hot rodders ought to know this. If it's 3 times the energy of gasoline, engineers ought to be thinking how they could package up vehicles with a lot smaller engine or a lot more power than, we're moving into the future here. So I don't know. We hear a lot about hydrogen, but we don't hear much about hydrogen peroxide. It's actually on the terrorist list. Like it's some kind of government secret. I can tell you the government uses it every day. So I'm wondering, should I tell you? Yeah, it's a secret. I probably shouldn't. Okay, so I hope you'll subscribe anyway, and I'll tell you something else. But that's how we can get over global warming, is oxygen from hydrogen peroxide going into the air would not only make the air more breathable, it reflect. They say that oxygen is what makes the sky blue. If it's true about dark particles in the air absorbing more heat, which I don't really subscribe to that theory, but it might have some influence, it's just not quantifiable like counting BTUs. So I appreciate you watching, and thank you. I'm trying to tell people something important here. We could be fixing this problem. If it's something we did to do it, we could undo it if we try.